Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's video I will be showing you how I make this pottery pillar candle holder. I came up with the design about 10 minutes before I started sculpting. I sketched it out on some paper and then I got my clay out and I started. I took a really long break from pottery for a couple reasons. The biggest reason was I had a baby. I had a little boy in October last year. I took some maternity leave. After a few months, I started sculpting again. I'm self-taught. I have learned most of the things that I know through YouTube. I watch a lot of videos. I use Reddit and read a lot of stuff on there. And I learn a lot through trial and error. The more I make things, the more I learn. I still feel like I don't really know what I'm doing. I encounter quite a few issues with my pottery in the past that have been quite disheartening. A few of those things are I have issues with the clay cracking and warping. So I did some research and I built myself well, I shouldn't really say built because it's not really building, but I bought a massive Tupperware container from the shops and I put some pottery plaster in the bottom of it after I mixed it up, of course, and that worked really well at keeping the pieces that I was working on moist before I was ready to let it dry out. You add water to the pottery plaster in the bottom and it just works amazing at creating a humid environment. Before then I would just put bin bags over my work and hope that it would keep moist before I was done working on it. And just because before I had the baby I had a full-time job, I was a nanny, and I just didn't have all the time in the world to work on my pottery, so more often than not my pieces would get too dry, which means more likely to crack and warp if you add water to it to get it into a good working state again. So finding I think they call it a wet box. Finding a wet box was a game changer for me. It's amazing. I store the clay bag in there and any pieces that I am still working on, and it just takes off a lot of pressure. Another thing I struggled with was my pottery pieces drying. When I actually wanted it to dry out, was uneven drying. I would do the same thing with the bin bag. I would just leave the pieces in there, but I would open it up just a little bit to allow some airflow. But because it creates a amazing humid environment in there, the condensation would stick to the top of the bin bag, and then if I didn't check the piece after a couple days, the water droplets could drop onto the pieces and make them crack. Similar to the wet box, I use a big old Tupperware container. I don't know why I'm calling it Tupperware. A big old plastic container, a storage bin. And I put in some baker's wire racks and I put the pieces in there. And then after 24 hours, I'll check the pieces, and if there is any condensation that's stuck to the walls of it, I will go ahead and just mop it up with a kitchen towel. It works great. I would love to make a video showing the setup that I have, and then I can show you guys the wet box and the dry box that I have. I'm still trying to figure stuff out though. I recently switched to a new clay. I'm currently using Kai Mudworks Iceman clay. It is apparently very good for hand building. This is the first time I've used it, this piece that you see in this video, so I can't really say too much about it. All I can say that it is amazing to work with. It felt very different. Previously I had been using White Bear by Kai Mudworks, but it was quite finicky to use, and upon doing some research I found out it's not recommended for hand building. I don't have a kiln at home right now. Kilns are super expensive and my pottery has never been my main career. It's always been a side thing that I do, and I use use a public pottery, which has its own issues. Very appreciative that I can use it, but using a public pottery means that my pieces are handled by other people. And other people aren't quite as careful with my pieces as I would be, so I've encountered a lot of breakage, which can be quite devastating, especially the amount of time my pieces take to make. So the goal is to save up some money and get a kiln in the basement, and then I can start handling my own work. My little boy is 9 months old now, and he is just a joy. He started crawling recently, he's babbling, he's still not sleeping through the night, but I suppose that's just part of being a parent, isn't it? How's your week going? Let me know in the comments. I would love to chat with you. Tell me about your week, tell me what kind of projects you're working on. To talk about the obstacles that I face and the things that I'm learning, and just document my journey really with you guys. So if you're interested in seeing more videos like this and just listening to me blabber away, then hit that subscribe button, and if you like the video, please press like, and of course let me know what you think. There'll be lots more pottery videos coming. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you guys next week.